So yeah, it's been a while since I've done a video on it, so I'm a bit out of practice again. So they probably won't be the best, but it is what it is, isn't it? I'm hoping the picture is better than last time with the permanent light in the way, but we'll see, won't we? This is a video I think I did last year or 2 years ago-ish, but I've got a bit of a twist, kind of more steampunk, kind of gothy summer sense. That kind of, gothic, industrial, Victoriana kind of thing. It's some sort of thing we all like in our minds, I guess. It's thankfully as well today it's a lot cooler. I'm hoping the wind isn't blowing through too much, but it's below 20 degrees, which has been rare over the last 3 weeks to a month. So yeah, anyway, we'll get started. So first up on the list is from Guerlain. It's an obvious one, isn't it? That's La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto. This has got that La Petite Robe Noire kind of DNA going through it. It's recognisable, but this I think it's been discontinued and replaced with another one that's not really the same now. I don't know, don't hold me to that. But it's what it's about is it's this beautiful cherry in there with the little hints of the licorice and that kind of thing. It's got a kind of rich sweetness. It's not too sweet, kind of with the floralness, and there's a kind of powdery thing about it. But what makes this one stand out is the leather. It's kind of a smooth, dark, sometimes suede leather, and it kind of, the cherry licorice kind of thing works really nice with it, where you get this kind of red and black kind of smell about it, which obviously it kind of fits this aesthetic really well. It's kind of more like it will be someone who's probably, you can imagine being quite dainty or whatever, but with this big huge leather jacket and these leather kind of outfits, a leather garter and that, all that kind of thing, with probably touches of red and red hair. It's really kind of a beautiful one, and it's not too much. It's just got that smooth kind of feel, which again is why it sits nicely for the kind of more summer months, I think. So if you want something a bit kind of easygoing but still with that kind of nice goth touch, I think this is a good one. So that's from Guerlain, La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto. Next is Amouage. There are a few in here, and this is one of both sets in here. I'm going to start with Myth's Man. Now, there was a lot I was going to put in there, but this is a kind of really smoky one. That's kind of the thing. It's kind of charred, smoked embers. You can smell the fire burning down, so like burning, and then it becomes more and more ashy and embery, still with this kind of thick smoke around it. And it kind of fits that kind of industrial, kind of steampunk kind of thing, doesn't it? The smoking chimneys and everything. But also what makes it kind of beautiful is chrysanthemum is kind of a big player in the beginning with Elemi. The chrysanthemum it's an unusual floral, isn't it? You can definitely smell its difference. Some people it kind of represents death. It doesn't here. It's lilies here. But lilies may come up later. But yeah, it's just this beautiful kind of floral aspect. And as the chrysanthemum moves back and the elemi comes more in, just get this kind of smooth, irisy feel in there, which adds a bit of class. Again, like a big leather tuxedo and a top hat with a clock kind of thing. It's got this class and elegance, but you're walking through this misty, smoke-filled street. You can smell the fires burning, and you can almost hear the machinery pumping it out. It's got this completely, utterly unique thing about it. It's from the good old days of Amouage, but it's these burning, charring smoke and embers with these little gorgeous touches in it. Obviously we know LME gives it kind of that citric kind of, to me, a little bit limey kind of feel through it, mixing with them florals lingering in the background, and like I say, the iris kind of smooths it out to this smooth, classy feel. It's a wonderful fragrance. That's Myth's Man from Amouage. Next, there's two kind of similar to each other coming up, but first one's from Map of a Heart, and that's Purple Heart. This one is kind of a more grown-up version of the next one, let's say. It's magnificent. It's violet. It's kind of smoky. It's got licorice in it. It's got a lovely woodiness in it. It's also got, I believe, going through it, a little bit of ink. Now, ink is a hard smell to describe. It's kind of this kind of bitterish blackness. Like, you remember when we used to, I don't know if people had fountain pens watching this, I did. It's got that kind of bitter, little bit of sweetness, like much darker than the licorice in that. Anyway, that all goes together to create this kind of purple, sweet, sumptuous. There's a little bit fruity. There must be a fruit in there, unless it is just the violet. But with this kind of smoky feel and that little bit of sharpness in there from the ink, and it just all goes together beautiful. And it again, obviously, it smells very purple and black, which, you know, kind of a colours, you know, that we associate with this kind of more gothic aesthetic, kind of that dark, beautiful, almost seductive kind of feel. And it just works. Like I say, it's a more grown-up version of the next one, but it's lovely, and it's not too much. It works completely fine in this. And again, like similar to some of the others, it does have like this little leathery feel in it, whether that's coming from the ink or there's leather in it or not, but it's gorgeous. So it's like the next one, but smoky and more grown up and more kind of mature. If you imagine this is kind of a version of the, well, it's Lolita Lempicka is the next one, isn't it? But if you imagine this is like Lolita Lempicka was them 20 years ago, and this is them now. They're even more kind of dark and kind of morbid and retrospective and perhaps a bit bitter. And that beautiful smoke again gives that kind of steampunk aesthetic again, doesn't it? So yeah, that's Purple Heart from Map of the Heart. Next, no surprise, given I've mentioned it about 20 times in the last one, is Lolita Lempicka from Lolita Lempicka. And we're talking the EDP. I would normally put the EDT in the summer, but we're going to go for the EDP. And one of the reasons for that is I smelt it the other day. Someone on the bus, yes, quite a kind of gothy lass, well, a very gothy lass, even though it was summer, you know, a long leather jacket, like knee-length socks and all of that kind of thing, and half her hair was purple, half of it was black. It was just what you'd expect, and when I smelt it, I go, God, that's familiar. She smells so good. And obviously, mine is Lolita Lempicka, isn't it? And this is, again, like the last one, this is violet, and it's got a kind of, it goes sweet, fruity, syrupy. The licorice in it, again, is magnificent. There's a lovely muskiness in this that perhaps isn't in the last one. It is just absolutely a stunning fragrance, and one that's kind of stood the test of time, isn't it? There aren't many like it out there, but it really, really works. And again, if we're talking about, like, the last one was them 20 years, this is them in that kind of angsty kind of feel, that kind of, this probably is more seductive, it's probably more to make an impression and draw someone in, but it's got that dark bite to it, hasn't it? And again, there isn't leather in this, but something about the way the licorice, I would say, works in it, gives it this kind of almost a little hint of leather in there. So it's a very black and purple one again. Beautiful. We all know Lolita Lempicka. It's a magnificent fragrance. So that's Lolita Lempicka from Lolita Lempicka. Next is literally that kind of gothic Victoriana embodied in a bottle, I think. And you knew this would be on this list somewhere. It's Chanel's Misia, which is, again, it's a lot more delicate than the other ones. Violet again. There's a lot of violet in this. Kind of powdery, sensual, seductive. I think some of the powderiness comes from the rose. It's kind of a petally kiss in there. There's obviously a bit of iris again. But lying under it all is actually leather. Again, perhaps swinging more towards a kind of soft, gentle, suede-y leather. But it works magnificently. And it just smells like a Victorian powder room, you know. It's magnificent. You can imagine someone in like a black and purple lacy bodice with long, like knee-length leather boots, leather gloves. It's got this kind of, it is like a, well, sometimes I describe it as a bit of a femme fatale one. It's beautiful. You can imagine a black striking lipstick and that. This is someone who knows what they want and exactly how to get it. It's just got this aura and it lingers round. Obviously as it develops it does get more and more powdery, but still with that leather underneath, and it becomes more musky and more of a kind of cloud. And the violet is obviously the main kind of floral in there, and it just, again, it has more of a darker violet smell than perhaps a Parma violet-y smell. It's just beautiful. We all know Misia, so Misia from Chanel. Next is another Amouage, sorry, but it is, there's the 2 of 3, and this one of course had to be in there. It's Interlude Woman, Interlude, and this one is again another magnificent dark one. This is a, like when you see these films or animations and stuff with this kind of aesthetic, like a bit of a weirdo, like a half a costume of you know, the leather and the chains and the clocks, and then a bit of lace in there and a bit of, you know, monocles and something weird and all these cogs and stuff. It's an amalgamation of a complete weird thing. You could call it a Frankenstein's monster of a kind of fragrance, which kind of again goes back to that aesthetic. It's really hard to describe. It's got this black sweetness in there. I think the Popanax is beautiful in there, that kind of rich sweet resin. There's a bit of kind of kiwi in there, which is a really unusual thing. There's other florals all mixed in there. There's a kind of pretty prominent incense sticking in there. There's a muskiness, and it just becomes this kind of, like, it's a weird way to describe it, like George's Marvellous Medicine of stuff all in there, and it's somehow all working, even though everything seems to clash. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, when you wear this, it can all just not work, and you're like, oh god, I'm stuck with it, it's quite strong, I'm stuck with this. But when it works, which it does in the heat, believe it or not, just a couple of sprays though, no more, it's just magnificent, that kind of dark, weird fruitiness. Again, I don't know if kiwi's a listed note or not, but it, you know what kiwi smells like? It smells its texture, doesn't it? It smells green, it smells wet, and it kind of smells this weird chewy feel, but like it a dissolving chewiness, and that's kind of how it smells, and the touches of smoke and incense and all of that. It's a weird fragrance, but definitely one to try if you want to try something, again, completely unique. So that's Interlude Woman from Amouage. Next is another kind of strange beast, and that's Eau Noire from Dior. This one is, again, very different. I think I have a more modern version. I don't know. but all I can describe is the one I've got, and I think it's the only one I've smelled. I don't think I've smelt the older ones, or maybe this is. I mean, so who knows? Anyway, this one is it's like, I don't know what's actually listed, but if you imagine all them Anisi stuff, like wormwood, perhaps rosewood in there, there's anise, licorice, there's definitely licorice, and it's kind of the more earthy kind of licorice, and it smells like a very dark green. It's like dark green roots and everything like this, all overgrown, but in a kind of more kind of smoky, mysterious, even damp setting, not as hot as this. And what kind of stands out to it is that licorice, and it almost has, as it develops, a licoricey biscuit kind of feel, again from more of the earthiness. And I think there is the myrrh, which again gives that sometimes to me a kind of biscuity, licoricey touch as well. But it's all these greens and blacks mixed together. Again, a very kind of gothic aesthetic kind of thing. And there's also to me, and again I don't really know where it's from, there is a little thin layer of smokiness in there. It's like a witch's brew, if you like. You know, all these bitter dark green roots and all these kind of bitter herbs. But the licorice and what have you, the resins in it give it this kind of sweeter touch. It's lovely. It's nothing like Lolita Lempicka, to be fair, because it doesn't have the florals or that kind of fruity feel. But if you imagine that with all of that stripped out, you're just left with the dark green and black elements, then yeah, it works. Eau Noire anyway, from Dior. Next again is a very black one, and this is someone head to toe in black leather. It's just, it's so nice. I think there is leather in this one actually. It's Blackstrap Betty from One Way Bridge. This is, like I say, that leathery feel. There is licorice kind of touches in this. I don't know if that's actually listed again, but where it probably comes from is it's predominantly based around molasses. You know, black treacle, which is this just like charred, rich, thick, syrupy blackness. Oh, it smells as... I actually want to go home and eat some treacle now, but it smells heavenly. And also going in there is a touch of coffee, which again adds to the bitterness. And the sweetness in there, I think, is from the florals. I wouldn't say I'd particularly pick out, you know, I'm not going to say it smells of and what have you. That's not really the main part of it, but they all come together to create this sweetness in there. So it is just this black, well, sweet as you can imagine molasses would be, but in a bitter way. And this literally is someone who would just be completely black, maybe even like a black bandana, and all you can see is the kind of sparkling brown eyes through it all. It's just utterly magnificent, and it's because of that black sweetness. I think it's one of them really kind of powerfully seductive ones. I always say this: if you try One Way Bridge, you will find one for you, and you will kind of understand why I love them all so much. But this is the one that's just... This will come to my collection. You know, like everyone else, money is a real big issue at the moment. But yeah, it's a gorgeous one. That's Blackstrap Betty from One Way Bridge. Next is, of course, the final Amouage, and that is Myth's Woman. This had to be in here. This is goth, steampunk, what have you, everything. This typifies this. If you're into that kind of stuff, or that kind of vibe and that, and you want something... to me, I always think of Mrs. Havisham. It's that kind of fragrance. It's got a lot of florals in there. That's what it's all about. It may also have a touch of chrysanthemum in, like the other one. In fact, I think it does, but to me, I don't even know if it's listed. It smells of these kind of rotting lilies. like proper lily flowers. It's got that kind of peppery spice. It's got that kind of petaliness. But as it develops and develops, it becomes... It's hard to... If you smell rotting flowers, you know what I mean. It's like the vase water slowly turning greener and greener. And you get that kind of... Almost like a river in the summer, isn't it? Where it's that kind of... It's not aquatic, it's decaying flowers, decaying vegetation, which is such a magical smell. And obviously it's amouage, there's resins in there, there's a kind of mysterious incensey feel about it all. But to me it's them flowers rotting and becoming even drier. You know, as you get into the dry down, it smells like dried out flowers still with that kind of green vase water lingering on a bit. It's so good, it's so good. Again, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head because these are not me listing the notes, these are me telling you what they smell like. It's like that. So this is like not like Mrs. Havisham. It's a dirty, ripped, lacy wedding dress with moth holes and stains and burns and covered in earth and soil. And it's just, oh, it's so nice. And if you like lilies, even though it's not listed, this is a magical one. That's Miss Woman from Amouage. Again, another one discontinued, which I wish I'd bought and I didn't. So another one I'm looking for. That's not £700. And finally, is one that I think I always put in this. I don't own it. I don't know if I ever would. Probably get a little travel size of it actually. And that's Frederic Malle's portrait of a lady, what I call my kind of lonely icy rose. It does obviously smell of a kind of brighter red rose, and it's not a big, it sounds really weird me saying this, it's not a big enveloping rich rose. It's not you know, usually my sort of rose. And it's surrounded by this cold, earthy patchouli. There is more going on in there, but that's kind of what it is. To me, it smells beautifully simple, and all you can smell is this rose. That isn't a big sweet one. It's not a big pretty one, and it's just starting to wither and wither. And as it develops, that kind of earthiness definitely becomes more and more about it. But the rose is cold. That's why I call it a lonely one. It's cold and it's chilled as it kind of withers and withers. And obviously there's a nice muskiness in there. It's a lot more complicated than I'm making it sound, but they're kind of the things I have to it. And eventually the rose is just like that, and all you get this kind of remnants of the rose in the air with the earth and all the other kind of musky notes and that feeling around. It's a beautiful one. Again, I see why it gets the hype. Would I wear it enough? Because sometimes a rose could be a bit irritating to me. But anyway, that's not what it's about. This is just again another kind of very gothy, kind of lonely, kind of melancholic kind of fragrance. So that's a portrait of a lady from Frederic Malle. So yeah, this was a brief video, obviously. Just getting back into the swing of it. What about you? What kind of gothy, dark fragrances would you wear in the heat? Have you got any favourites from this list or others? I'm always wanting to smell more of them. And as I've noticed over the last year, there's quite a few in here getting greener with my tastes. And yes, lots of amouages. Anyway, thanks for watching, bye.